Hello and welcome to this special Flavor of the Month edition on channel Ushanev. You can see here I've got my about half and half recruit Battlemaster, maybe less than that. There may be more recruit than Battlemaster on this Pyro. And I gotta tell you, you may be seeing more of Venisu here. Because I gotta tell you that, especially in Huttball, there's just no comparison between this class and the operative. You have so much more control over the flow of the game with a power tech than you do with an operative. And as I'm sure many of you know, I was a great defender of the operative, saying that if you played it right, then you could hold your own. And while it's certainly true that you can make the operative be useful to a team, I don't see a way for concealment to even approach the kind of utility that a power tech can bring. You'll see in this match, but I'm playing with a complete pug, by the way, which is something I normally really try not to do because it raises my blood pressure. You can see that I have personally have quite a bit of influence over the course of this game, even in my crappy gear. Don't do a whole lot of DPS, although I do more than I often do with Ushanev, just because of the range that the class offers. This other guy here, Major Brick House, is obviously himself a Vanguard, and has much better gear than I do. And pretty much any time we wind up tangling, he beats the crap out of me. Unless I manage to stun him in the fire, which I do a couple of times. I purposely line of sight the jug here so that won't happen. Unfortunately, my teammate is not quite as savvy on that particular play. And I tell him that in the chat. So, in some ways, playing the Pyrotech is similar to the Operatives, as it doesn't have a jump gap closer, unless you're in the tank spec, which I'm not on Pyro right now. So you want to, as much as possible, stay on the upper platforms. You can always drop down if you need to. Here, if I was playing an Operative, I would have just had to watch. But instead, I can save the goal. You can always drop down if you're on the top level. The same is not true if you find yourself in the pit. So yes, I try to, as much as possible, stay up on the rafters. Even though I do have that pull. I really try to save the pull for pulling someone into the fire. Especially because it does fill a significant portion of the opposing player's resolve bar. Also in the crap gear, I am fairly squishy. Here I do decide to drop down. I think I can burn this guy before he passes, and unfortunately not. But the pass is intercepted. So yeah, back to the idea of this class versus the operative. It's too bad. I actually think the operative is a little more fun to play because you really have to plan where you want to be, and you have to anticipate where you think the other players are going to be because you have no gap closer. Which I think is really pretty fun. It makes Huttball very tactical. With this class, you kind of just sit back and make sure you don't get yourself killed or CC'd and put out of the action. And you can typically kill the ball carrier at your leisure if the Fireware's targeting works out. A little late on that pull. But yeah, with both with this class, and I've also have a 50 jug, which I've never been very good with. But both classes, the consequences of making a mistake are not nearly as high. You can correct it much more easily with the leap or the pull. You can be right back in the action, or you can bring the action to you. Things which are not the case at all with the operative. And so it makes for a pretty forgiving experience. It's kind of dumb of me to let the sword sage walk up there and knock me off. But we got the ball back anyway. I find myself really enjoying the PowerTech's Carbonize there. It's often more useful than Flashbang. I mean, they're not quite the same skill. They have different uses. But you can count on the 2.5 seconds with Carbonize that you can't necessarily count on with Flashbang. I still do love Flashbang, though. It's, it's awesome. Anyway, like I said, we're a pure pug, not a whole lot of coordination. It's a lot of zerging around, mindlessly following the ball carrier. I assume the other team is a pug too. There are no great shakes. So like I said before, just sort of biding my time. And if he wanders too close, which he does, as he S-keys back, something that a concealment operative would never dream of doing. Even if, as Ushanev had managed to kill the ball carrier there, I'd still be in the middle of their team. Here, not only do we get the ball, but we're miles away from their main group. Probably should not have passed the ball there, seeing as I'm guarded and have full resolve. Force of habit. Plus, it always feels nice to pass the ball and spread the points around. I really wish this guy had patched it up instead of trying to run it himself. Pugs will be pugs. Just not a good pull there at all. He wasn't going to make it across that fire pit. And it fills his result bar, so now he can stroll across. Luckily, he's not getting a whole lot of support as far as someone to pass to. So Ulyanov, who is obviously another power tech, is able to make another pull. No, Ulyanov! So brave. Your sacrifice was not in vain. The Sork there with not the greatest pull in the world. Falls in the hands of somebody who's guarded. Who could have gotten across the fire pit. Taunt's also a very nice feature of this class that the Operative obviously does not have. The Operative does have the heals, but well, for one, they're slow. I mean, the heals are on the global cooldown. The taunts aren't. So often, the taunt is as good or better. Obviously, for self-healing, the taunts don't work. But for aiding team members, ball carriers, for instance. Someone who shall remain nameless provided a target for that jug to jump to, and single-handedly gave them a goal. So yeah, we probably would have lost by now if I was on Ush.
Today's match is sponsored by Rask's Trend Ushanev flat cakes, the only flat cake served with.
I don't know. I feel like there's not a whole lot to talk about with this tune. It just sets him up, knocks him down.
Take out a frog dog. Brutal. Oh, the frog dogs just pulled the ball handler apart. Black goes a frog dog. Get a cleaner, droid.
So irritating when people get the ball in the pit and immediately just try to run out of the pit instead of looking for a pass up to the ledge. Always look for that pass to score first. If it's not there, you can still run it out. You can still ditch it. You probably still have time. If it is there, you're making someone pull their hair out if you're ignoring it or unaware of it. So yeah, I'm just, again, standing up on this top platform just in case I need to make a pull in the closing seconds to save a score.
Today's winners and praises their voracious talent.
Anyway, that's the super OP class, and it certainly is. Hope you enjoyed it.